NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing on Fox is presented by Quaker State, the power to reduce friction. And brought to you by Lowe's, improving home improvement. The new Chevrolet, an American revolution. And by Mach 3 Turbo Champion, the only razor used by the Gillette Young Gun. Remind me to never again say we're caution free at Bristol. Kasey Kane has thumped the wall really hard in turn number 2 after contact from Jamie McMurray.
Well, let's see what happened here. I got a feeling Murray's up on the outside here. This is coming. This hadn't happened yet. It's getting ready to.
Of course, they were battling for second place.
Ooh, he's up there. He's up there. Gosh, he was trying to give him room to get down and didn't quite give him enough room. I mean, Jamie had a run on him. Then he realized that I think Kasey didn't realize he was there possibly. And that's where the spotter, that is so close right there between what the driver's decision will do and what the spotter tells you.
This is Kasey Kane's onboard camera.
And that hurts just as bad as it sounds.
Kasey Kane's crew. Tommy Baldwin, crew chief.
Of course, he comes in here 5th in points, and a pit road will be a very busy place for all the lead lap cars. In fact, there's 28 of them. This will be 4 tires and adjustments.
Now, they pit on both sides of the racetrack, but must enter under caution at turn 2 and come all the way around if they're pitted on the front side. Steve.
Mike, 4 tires for Jeff Gordon. He said that car was wicked loose. He cannot get on the gas like he wants to coming off the center. So they'll also make a big adjustment in the track bar down a round and a half. Dick.
Greg Biffle in the pits. He doesn't like the chassis on the car. He's a bit loose coming off. He's also overheating. He is on the front stretch. They're going to pull all the tape off the nose of that car to try and cool it off. 4 tire change to Matt.
Rusty Wallace in, no adjustments. It's a 16 car. Greg Biffle is out. They're already going to work on the left side of the Dodge, left side of the 20. His car tight. Rusty Wallace down and away. They pulled a piece of tape off the grill, and service is completed for both smoke and the 77 and 97. The water was 220. The oil had climbed to 245 on Rusty's Dodge.
Rusty, Greg Biffle, Tony Stewart, and then perhaps Ryan Newman.
But Rusty Wallace almost was blocked in by his teammate, Ryan Newman. It was very, very close.
Now, these are the length of pit road times from entry to exit.
Including the stop.
Matt?
Larry Mack, and you talked about pitting all 3 Penske cars from the first 3 pit stalls, and that's the reason why the Gibbs guys, no matter if they qualify 1-2, they do not select pits next to each other. They don't want to take a chance of messing up their teammate here on pit road.
Every time at a place like Bristol or Martinsville, Dover, tight pit roads, that our teammates pitted beside each other, normally it was a very interesting Monday morning.
Kasey Kane has had a stellar rookie season so far. Today, the glass slipper broke. That was the drive shaft in Brian Vickers' car, who has coasted to pit road.
Something's going on there, because remember at Atlanta 2 or 3 weeks ago in practice, they had a dry shaft come out of that race car.
And we're under caution for the 2nd time today. Now you see why those shafts are required to be painted white so they can be spotted out on the racetrack. We dropped the green, ran 2 laps. Robbie Gordon was the first car lap down. He did not get a lap back from Rusty Wallace, but now he will be the free pass car, just as Terry Labonte was from the first caution of the day. Jeannie?
Well, the verdict is still out as to the total.
We're on lap 60 or whatever it was, and I mean, it was just stupid what he did. I don't know. He got me here in my first race, and he got me again today in my first Cup race, so we'll get him back sometime soon.
All right, guys, I guess the warning is out. Obviously, we've got an issue, gentlemen.
So, but see how drivers are? I mean, they can remember back 2 and 3 years ago when somebody did something to them, particularly if it's the same somebody. Quite honestly, that's hard to call right there. I mean, I guess you could blame Jamie for sticking his nose, but he's got to run on.
Kasey Kane climbed out of the car and looked at the replay up on the screen.
Obviously very upset.
I mean, Jeff Hammond talked about it in the pre-race. You know, you bring your feelings in this racetrack, you're going to get them hurt.
Steve?
Mike, want to follow up on Jamie McMurray. He spun trying to avoid Casey Kane. He didn't hit anything, but when he came to his team, caught it, stopped work, pushed him back, then completed their service. He dropped 25 positions in that whole scenario.
So he is now 26th out of what will be 29 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green. NASCAR on Fox, presented by Quaker State, is brought to you by UPS, the official express delivery company of NASCAR. We want to race the truck. People love the truck. Green flag, and we restart to begin lap 74 of 500. Here at Bristol, Rusty Wallace has now led 3,500 career laps at Bristol Motor Speedway.
And they're the real challenge on restarts. Rusty Wallace in the 2 car in first, Greg Biffle in the 16, now Tony Stewart in the 20 and 3rd is trying to clear those lap cars on the inside.
Yeah, there's so much dirt and debris up on that outside lane that when you're even out there on a restart, you pick up a lot of it. And you wonder why they're not running out there. Well, you look at the racetrack, it's pretty dirty.
The field gets a little sorted out here under green. Stewart gets under Biffle, and Tony will take second place, as we want to show you what happened up here to Brian Vickers, the Busch Series champ, as he loses a drive shaft in 2 pieces.
Yeah, that's it. Something going on there, boys. Need to check into that.
Just very lucky it didn't go through someone else's grill, through the radiator, through a windshield.
And let's check with Jeff Hammond as Tony Stewart is running down race leader Rusty Wallace.
Guys, you can see right here, this is the drive shaft in our cutaway engine. It connects the transmission to the rear gear. We're going to take it out of gear and study it just a little bit. When the drive shaft came out from underneath the Brian Vickers car, it appeared to me it was in one piece. So undoubtedly, either something broke, either on the rear end housing, which holds this yoke area, holds the drive shaft together, or maybe one of these little dog rings, U-bolts they call it, may have broken also. But most definitely it's come apart. The team will now have to probably replace the rear gear and possibly even the transmission before they can go back on the racetrack. But usually when this drive shaft comes out, it tears up a lot of stuff.
Thanks, Jeff. It is Wallace, Stewart, Biffle, Ryan Newman, the pole sitter, and rookie Brendan Gaughan, the top 5, as the battle is joined for the lead.
I definitely think the car that has passed the most cars, and a lot of help from that Greg Zipadelli-led crew, is Tony Stewart in the 20 car. Started back in 12th. Now he's up there battling for the lead. Rusty don't want to give the bottom of the racetrack up, and Matt, that makes it very hard to pass when you can't get underneath them.
Tony Stewart living by his motto here at Bristol to go fast, get off the throttle early, get back on it early. They made a slight air pressure adjustment back on lap 61 to help the car. He started out a little too tight as he makes the move on Rusty Wallace to take the lead. It's been feast or famine here at Bristol for Tony Stewart, Dick.
Look, on the last pit stop, Greg Biffle came in second and went out second, but they were going to pull tape off the nose of that race car because the engine was running hot. They didn't get the tape off, and just a few moments ago, Biffle keyed his radio and said he's up to 240 degrees. Kurt Busch also running hot. He's at 210.
Thanks, Dick. Tony Stewart becomes the 3rd different leader of today's race. Let's show you how he got it.
Oh, yeah, and it's that old bump and run thing, you know. He just runs down in the corner. He's quicker than Rusty, and he gets underneath him. He's already hit him a couple of times, gives him a shot. Rusty's got to grab the wheel, run it up the track, and by goes Tony.
Takes you that whole corner to gather it back up.
I got a feeling that there might be a payback coming for that one because Rusty is hungry. He's got the gusto of a hungry hound right now.
Yeah, right now he's running over a 10th quicker than leader Tony Stewart in the 20.
This group is 4th on back. Newman, Gaughan, Busch, Gordon, Earnhardt Jr., and Johnson.
Tell you what, Earnhardt Jr., second to points. He qualified back in 18th position. Now he's up here in the 8th position. Come up here and tested for 2 days, and I think that test definitely paid off. They came here and tested after that disaster at Las Vegas.
You know, Larry, 85% of the wins come here from. So that statistic might get a little work done on it today.
Singular Wireless Virtual Crew Chief question. Vote now from your singular phone by sending text message Fox to phone number 191 or visit foxsports.com to vote online, and stay tuned for the results. "90 laps this time by. Tony Stewart third, different. Our pole sitter Ryan Newman has slipped back to fourth. Matt?
Mike, when you talk about noise here in Bristol, it is so loud that actually Matt Moreland and car chief Chad Norris were writing notes back and forth about the air pressures they want to make to the tires for Ryan Newman's next stop. It's loose side entry, a little tight off. They made an air and track bar adjustment on their first stop. It's helped, but it hasn't helped enough. They're going to make significant air pressure adjustments on their next stop. Steve Burns?
Well, Matt, to follow up on Brian Vickers, he's sitting behind pit road. 12 different mechanics working on this race car. As Jeff Hammond said, they have in fact changed the gear. They will put in a new drive shaft, and they're going to have to replace the transmission. Brian does not know what happened to the race car. He said nobody hit him. All of a sudden, he felt the car break loose, and that was all she wrote.
On the right of your screen, Jeremy Mayfield underneath Mark Martin. Jeremy's the driver who said a race at Bristol is like 500 laps in a clothes dryer. Every once in a while, somebody loses a sock.
Or you get a sock.
Yeah, right. Get one, give one. Robbie Gordon back on the lead lap. Tracking Terry Labonte there at 26th place. Let's move it on up to 7th place. Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. From the car he described as all over the place in the first run.
Yeah, it's you know, they can work. They wave that magic wand. Them crew chiefs all got one of them. They do that bibbity bobbity boo on them, and the next thing you know, you got a great car.
You know, after qualifying Friday, guys, a guy that I was very impressed with, Brendan Gaughan in that 77 car, the Kodak car, and they were junk yesterday in practice, but I think they put their heads together, Matt, with the 12 in the 2 car, and that car is sitting there running 5th right now.
The benefits of great resources like Ryan Newman and Rusty Wallace. An awesome day so far for Brendan Gaughan. His crew chief Shane Wilson put 4 scuffed tires on the first stop and made an air pressure adjustment to try to fix the tight under throttle condition. But one of his advisors, so to speak, Buddy Baker, tried to help Brendan with his driving earlier in the race. He got too high. That's how Tony Stewart got by. Buddy said that's the perfect example of why you got to keep it on the bottom.
And Matt, what they mean by scuffed tires, yesterday in one of those practice sessions, a lot of teams, to try to cure the tires, went out and run each set of tires 4 or 5 laps, and that's what we call a scuffed set of tires. Plus, it lets you learn the characteristics of that set of tires.
Yeah, and you may want to decide not to put those tires on Sunday.
Oh, Jeff Burton in trouble on the front bumper of Kevin Harvick.
Bobby Labonte, the 18 cars involved.
That's the battle we were just watching. Matt Kenseth was right behind him when it happened.
Poor old Bobby Labonte. I think I've seen him get in more trouble here by someone else's mistakes than maybe anybody racing here today.
Jeff Burton, that Roush team, still hunting for a full-time sponsor. And they were running well. That battle was for 17th. And Burton's car is pretty well banged up, as is Labonte's. Of course, here at Bristol, those are relative terms.
Yeah, Labonte's car's got, I saw steam coming out of it. He got water coming out the right front side there, and the fender all banged in, so he's going to have some work to do.
Third caution of the day because of this.
Kevin Harvick had been couldn't keep his car on the bottom. Looks like Burton thinks he's clear of Harvick, and he comes up in front of him. Jeff was not quite clear of the 29 car Harvick.
Our points leader, Matt Kenseth, in the 17 just skimmed by.
Lucky, isn't
he? Yeah, look like the 17 right now is going to be right in the middle of this.
It just tickles. Really lucky, isn't he?
And Schrader. Not Ann Schrader, and Schrader. Kenny Schrader. Kenny Schrader zipped right on through.
How many times have we said that 17 car is lucky? Oh, yeah, it's just.
Darrell, Kevin did nothing wrong.
No. The spotter either cleared the 99 up or he just misjudged.
And you know, I think Bobby Labonte felt like that Jeff Burton was going to slide down the racetrack, and he didn't, Darrell.
Yeah, he's going so fast, not much reaction time here.
One telling point about the replay from Kevin Harvick, and I want you to listen. Kevin's often been accused of making contact, keeping his foot down, and driving through it. And for those of you who think that, in this case, he did not. He makes contact, and you hear him lift and try to keep the situation from becoming worse. Caution is out for the third time in 100 laps at Bristol.